Sonic Exec tries to save you and ends up in the Backrooms. And not only does he try to protect Sonic, but he also ends up confronting his enemies, transforming into Dark Sonic, extremely brutal and frightening even for Sonic himself. My friend, this story went way beyond. And now we finally have Dark Sonic back, but not only that, now it's the Dark Sonic from the Backrooms. There are things in this comic that I want to talk to you about. And my friend, give a shout out, because that's what I'm going to talk about now. First of all, I have to remind you, right? This comic was made by Sue Swagnes, an artist who is creating her own fanfic, her own fan story, mixing the Backrooms universe with Sonic. Here, it's a story where Sonic went into the Backrooms and ended up facing a version of himself that was giant, with double mouths, multiple eyes, and even 7 fingers on one hand. Where he ended up facing, here inside the Backrooms, a race against himself, with his own life or a way out of the place on the line. The thing is, Sonic is affected by this place, and he can't run fast enough, even accelerating at his top speed. He sees that the other Sonic got there first, so he gives up, thinking that he would end up killing Sonic himself, by drowning. But he ends up being saved by him, and protected inside the Backrooms dimension, going through several difficulties and even brief panic attacks. Man, I'm going to be straight with you here. I've already talked a lot about this story in my last video, and if you happen to stumble in here and haven't seen that part, seriously, pause this video, go to my channel and check out my recent videos, that video is there. Watch it and then come back here, otherwise there will be a huge gap. Anyway, let's talk about what happens here now, man. When Sonic ends up arriving here in the place called Level Fun, he's tired, exhausted, drinking this almond water, until he gets to the place where his birthday is being celebrated, which leaves him completely shocked, because for some reason this place knows that he's 27 years old, but his birthday was 2 days or even weeks ago. It's actually interesting to mention that when we remember the comic where Sonic ended up disappearing and Tails and his crew were practically desperate looking for Sonic, it made it seem like he actually disappeared on his birthday. This is a bit creepy, because Sonic here is not only older, but he's also been through so many things. You could say that he's Sonic's future, way beyond the Sonic we know, you know, the one people love to make memes about, but yeah. It's Sonic who's already been through all the stories. And in this way, he's there, trapped, on his own birthday, inside the backgrounds. Man, I don't know much about backgrounds to say if this is a canonical part or a much bigger theory, but man, it's really cool to see this detail being included here. But anyway, the creator chose to make him 27 years old, okay? One suspicion is that it's the creator's age, but that moment of surprise and joy is interrupted because Pettigoer shows up here. Pettigoer keeps staring, but he's surprised because Still Life Sonic just freezes right in front of him. The look between these two here is creepy. Even so, they keep staring at each other non-stop, and Pettigoer doesn't understand what's going on. Sonic doesn't get it either, but Still Life is just standing there ready, while the other one gets closer. And since he knows that's a dangerous situation, Pettigoer even starts screaming, showing his mouth and practically his double row of teeth. That triggers Still Life Sonic, who ends up screaming at the same time, sending him into a rage. Sonic is left in complete despair and shock. He realizes that Sonic is also becoming completely dark, and he has no idea what he's capable of doing, so he understands that he needs to stop him. Then he starts chopping up the Pettigoers. The first one who faced him and started screaming practically lost his arm. In fact, he just got a little hand left. And Still Life throws the little arm on the ground, which ends up catching the attention of the others. But actually, the brutality is just beginning. That's because Still Life's Dark Sonic ripped off not only his limbs, but also his smiling head, showing that he went away happy. But others emerge here from the darkness, from the doors in the backgrounds, and end up facing the hedgehog himself. Still Life is now in a rage, and he's in the ultimate form of Dark Sonic, screaming uncontrollably. Sonic, seeing all that brutality, begs him to stop. He screams this in desperation, holding the same bag that Still Life Sonic was carrying before. That irritates him, because the last thing he needed at that moment was another Dark Sonic. So he goes through the place, dropping arms and legs that were still stuck to his body. And meanwhile, several Pettigoers and Testeiros are being dismembered and demolished, each one being attacked by Still Life Sonic, who wouldn't stop hitting. So Sonic here simply knees him in the face and knocks Still Life Sonic to the ground, even though he's completely out of breath. And the creator made it very clear, Sonic here is not. Okay, he's really tired, he's breathing through his mouth because things are intense. So he gets Still Life Sonic's attention, who is left in shock. He woke up, went back to his normal form, and realized that his body is covered in ketchup, especially his hands, which now have 6 fingers. Sonic apologizes and asks if he's okay now, but Still Life is still trying to understand what's happening to him at that moment. He's processing the information, because a lot has happened and gone by. But Still Life is sad, he's quiet, he doesn't say anything, but it shows. And Sonic notices. Yeah, I figured he wasn't okay. My friend, this is one of the best stories, and man, it's really great to see. The guy is using Dark Sonic in the story. And he didn't just use the original Dark Sonic, with Sonic going crazy but completely unable to act. But at the same time, he also ended up finishing some of the most tragic levels of the Backrooms that ever existed, in the craziest way possible, putting Dark Sonic in the Backrooms. Still Life Sonic became him. And that's where the story starts here, and we try to understand where this story is going, this Backroom saga, okay? As you know, Backrooms has no end. From the beginning they started with short films for the internet. Games appeared with those yellowish walls and more floors showed up. The creator of this comic ended up adapting many viral Backroom stories, but there isn't like a right path or an adaptation that explains why each creature is there or why each environment is the way it is. If you look up Level Fun, for example, I ended up finding several references that the creator ended up putting in the comics. I'll leave the links here in the description, but this gives you an idea of why she took so long in this place. Level Fun, man, is pretty much that whole mascot horror trend that showed up in the latest games and went super viral lately. I'm talking, for example, about adaptations of FNAF, Poppy Playtime, and those creepy creatures that show up and keep chasing you, the protagonist. It's one of those things that we've kind of gotten used to and adapted to as well. After all, they were really scary in all their adaptations. Even so, man, the theme of taking childish things and turning them into horror is very simple, straightforward, and also cliché, but it always works, and she did that here. So what happens? It seems like the creator will have trouble trying to adapt other comic panels, because she said this. The next level might be the short-lived fun level. I don't know where she could send Sonic after this, but I think it should only be for a few more strips. Tell me which levels you want to see next, but don't give me low-quality ones. The more likes, the more I'll add. That's pretty interesting because she's also kind of creating and developing this story as we engage with her. There are a lot of people making fan-dubs, a lot of people just animating. Man, there are a bunch of shorts. I'm here making these videos. She already liked and shared them. That's cool. Now here's a question. I don't know where a story about them can go. Because there've always been shorts released on the internet. Now we're going to see that Sonic is going there. I hope it has a good ending. But I'll be honest with you, now that Dark Sonic has appeared, I really don't know where they can go after this. I hope they can at least do something even creepier after all this, because man, Backrooms is really scary, but it's really good to follow. It's one of the best stories. Now we just have to wait and see when the next episode comes out. Thank you so much, take care, I'm out, see you in the next video.